Good morning. This is Kathleen Clough with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Looking ahead to the next 3 days, we expect lighter precipitation today in the form of scattered thunderstorms instead of the heavy rain we saw yesterday, bringing the chance for some higher IA from lightning potential across Nevada and Utah. This chance for precipitation will persist through Friday but continue to decrease in coverage. Dry air will slowly return to the basin and settle in place by the weekend, with warmer and drier conditions expected on Saturday. Radar estimates from the past 24 hours show widespread precipitation coverage of up to a quarter inch across most of the basin, with heavier areas of rain totals of up to between a half inch and 2 inches across western Nevada, northern Utah, and eastern Idaho. You can see that in the green. Satellite loop from yesterday afternoon into the evening shows widespread lightning accompanying yesterday's precip across the entire basin. The Great Basin had 10 new starts for a total of 293 acres and a large fire growth of 0 acres. On the left is observed precip from Tuesday, which shows that most of the Great Basin received at least a hundredth to tenth of an inch of rain, with higher half-inch to 1 inch accumulations in green across portions of Utah, northern Nevada, and much of central Idaho. Portions of central Idaho received heavy rainfall with totals between 2 to 3 inches to the north and the occasional bullseye of 4 to 6 inches in the red. The past 30 days map shows most of the Great Basin is still below normal precip-wise, except northern Nevada and a large portion of central Idaho, but I expect to see conditions improve tomorrow after yesterday's rain totals are reflected. ERC values continue to trend down with recent heavier precipitation, and the entirety of the basin is below the 50th percentile. We expect these values to start creeping up this weekend as things dry out, especially in the lower elevations where we have our grasses and shrubs, but for now we are all green across the basin. Satellite from this morning shows some lingering cloud cover and storms exiting the Great Basin in eastern central Idaho, which you can see on the radar snapshot as well near the Idaho and Wyoming border. Smoke impacts today include some heavier impacts from fires burning in Oregon and California across the eastern half of Nevada, central Idaho, and Utah as that smoke swirls around the basin. We'll see the heaviest impacts tracking through Boise and Salt Lake City, and you can see that in the darker red colors there. We expect a similar smoke impact across the basin tomorrow, with a little less of an impact across Nevada as things kind of circle around the outer edges of the basin. We'll see an impact today from Tropical Storm Juliet in the southern portion of the basin in the form of an increased chance for showers and thunderstorms across southern eastern Utah and the Arizona Strip. We are also expecting some continued scattered rainfall across Nevada, northern central Idaho, and western Wyoming, and the Great Basin as a whole still remains at that little or no risk. Some areas of higher winds are expected across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming today, where we expect gusts between 15 and 30 miles per hour. Storm outflow winds are seen across central Nevada and northern Utah, which could bring erratic winds to existing fires or new starts. Precip will be scattered and light today across most of the basin and mainly coming from scattered thunderstorms. The highest precip chances are across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming. Temperatures today are still moderate, mid 70s to 80s across most of the basin. RH values still remain high across the basin, but will start coming down through the weekend as we dry out. RH between 50 and 25% is expected across larger portions of western and southern Nevada and southern Utah, so those will be our driest portions. You can see just how scattered that expected precip is, as well as the moisture coming from Tropical Storm Juliet tracking northeast into southern Utah and the Arizona Strip. We expect some heavier afternoon cloud cover across southern Nevada, northern Utah, and eastern Idaho, as well as western Wyoming, which will moderate fire conditions today. On Friday, the potential for scattered and isolated storms remains, and we'll still see those kind of bands of precip from Tropical Storm Juliet coming up. You can see as that precip exits the basin, it is followed by that dry air that we've been discussing. But still, at this point, Great Basin as a whole will still remain at that little or no risk due to all of our precip. Not much of a wind concern tomorrow. A few areas of gusty outflow winds seen in pink across the Sierra Front and northeast across central Nevada. Additionally, there is a larger swath of 15 to 20 mile per hour gusts expected across southern Utah and western Wyoming. Scattered precip is seen across the Sierra Front, northeastern Nevada, parts of central Idaho, and a larger coverage across Utah where we expect moisture coming up from Tropical Storm Juliet still on Friday. Temperatures are slowly on the rise, but still moderate across the basin with max temps between the high 70s and high 80s. RH values still remain between 25 and 35% across central Idaho and western Wyoming, between 15 and 25% across Nevada, and higher in Utah from the precip chance in the mid 30% at lower elevations and up to 60% in the higher elevations where we have some of our existing fires. Highest precip chance will be across eastern Nevada and Utah on Friday, where we will see higher cloud cover of at least 50%, bringing higher RH values and moderating fire behavior once again. On Saturday, dry air will return to the basin, causing a few PSAs to move into that low risk across northeastern and southern Nevada. But overall, not too much going on Saturday besides being warm, dry, and breezy. Not much of a wind concern on Saturday. A swath of 15 to 25-mile-per-hour winds across western Wyoming and eastern central Idaho is expected, but there's also really no precip chances on Saturday. Maybe a few scattered things showing up here, but overall going to be dry on Saturday. Temperatures are still moderate across the basin, but creeping back into the high 80s to low 90s in the western portion. RH values will be much lower Saturday in the teens to low 20s across Nevada and Utah, and between 20 to 35% across central Idaho and western Wyoming. No precip is expected on Saturday, and little to no cloud cover as those warmer and drier conditions push into the basin. Over the next 3 days, we expect to see light precip from the next few days of mixed storm potential, with central Nevada, central Utah, and western Wyoming seeing up to 1/10 of an inch of accumulation, with sparse pockets of up to 1/4 inch across portions of southern central Utah. Sunday will be warm and dry with light and variable winds across the basin as that dry air mass settles over the region, leading to low risk across the eastern half of Nevada. On Monday, those warm and dry conditions will persist, causing more PSAs to move into that low risk category. So, overall, just slowly drying out across the basin. We'll see similar conditions on Tuesday. That dry air remains in place, but we do have this low pressure system off the California coast, which will bring the potential for some higher winds and scattered storms across western Nevada. Once again, more areas will move into that low risk category as things continue to dry out. On Wednesday, that low will push east into the basin, bringing the chance for scattered storms across Nevada, southern central Idaho, and Utah, as well as a chance for higher winds across Nevada. A few zones will move back to that little or no risk category due to the moisture potential. The next 7 days of precip looks almost identical to our 3-day, which just emphasizes the warming and drying trend coming our way starting Saturday into next week, as well as the likelihood that any storm potential Tuesday and Wednesday will be on the drier side. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook shows a chance for above normal temperatures across the Great Basin, and the precip outlook shows a chance for above normal precipitation as well. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.